Get started. Thank you. Thank you for everyone who's able to participate this morning. And welcome to the Indiana Farmers Market Community of Practice May webinar. I'm Christina Ferroli, the Grants Program Coordinator for the Indiana Cooperative Development Center. And today we are covering Indiana EBT along with taking a look at the INFMCP's implementing SNAP EBT at Farmers Market Toolkit. I'm really excited because today we have with us Shannon Robinson, and she's with the Indiana Family and Social Services. Shannon moved to Indiana in August of 2010. She started in eligibility with the Division of Family and Family Resources in December 2013. She moved to the Division of Eligibility, and then she's been with EBT Coordinator's Office since May. I probably did that wrong. 2022?
That is correct.
Awesome. So she's got a lot of experience, and she's gonna we're excited that she's gonna share with us SNAP EBT at farmers markets. I want to remind everyone to please remain muted during the webinar. However, we want you to ask questions. So either raise your hand and we'll acknowledge you, or you can drop the question in the chat. I have the chat open, so I'll monitor chat for Shannon, and we will either, depending on the volume of questions, we either take them as we go, or we can push them to the end. So thank you, and I will turn it over to Shannon.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Christina, for the introduction. As she stated, my name is Shannon Robinson. I'm the current EBT coordinator for the state of Indiana. One of the things that we do is the EBT point of sale equipment for farmers markets and direct market farmers. Okay, so some of you may be familiar with it, some of you may not. Okay, we'll go over what we can do for you as far as the point of sale equipment for your market. On this slide, questions to ask before applying to become a SNAP authorized retailer. Have customers been asking you if you accept EBT? Does your area have a large low-income population? Is there adequate public transportation to your market? And how would you get the word out that you accept EBT? And do you have the extra resources needed to run the EBT program? Okay, so we will go over the next couple slides here. Is the EBT program right for you? Okay, there's several benefits to running the EBT program. You can increase your sales by providing another purchasing option to customers. Indiana also participates in, it used to be called the PEBT, the Summer EBT School Program. Now it is just called Sunbucks. Sunbucks is an extra card that clients receive that are eligible, and those can be used on any POS system. This also benefits low-income customers with benefit options to purchase SNAP-eligible healthy foods. With the farm markets are all healthy foods. I attend several a year myself. There's healthy foods. There's also some snack foods, but there's a lot of fruits and vegetables available. And some of the EBT POS equipment accepts credit and debit, also for a fee. Some challenging things that you may run into would be marketing. How are you going to get the information out to sorry, I lost my train of thought. How are you going to get you accepting SNAP EBT out to the residents, to your customers? Do you need extra staffing and volunteers to manage the EBT program? That you will need. I think it's too much for just one person to run the program. And do you have enough EBT SNAP sales to justify extra expense and resources that you need? Obviously, you don't want to put out more expenses than you're receiving. You definitely want to receive a benefit from having the program. And then we'll be training staff and vendors on the SNAP regulations. Just a quick pause. Does anyone have any questions on those? Am I going too fast, or how are we doing?
So
Hi.
far, so go ahead.
This is Molly O'Connor with the Westfield Farmers Market. I had a quick question. Could you explain one more time? I think you mentioned that there was one existing asset for SNAP EBT that's now called Sunbucks. Could you go over that one more time?
Oh, of course. During the pandemic, with the USDA, all students enrolled in school received a certain amount of benefits depending on where we were in the pandemic. Some students received individual cards. Some deposits went on to existing clients' food stamp card. Up until then, it was mostly the Division of Family Resources and USDA. Now it's being referred back to the Department of Education. And if you're currently receiving SNAP or Medicaid, you will receive the amount of $120 per child for the entire summer. You'll receive a card that's called the Sunbucks. It's different from the SNAP EBT card. And there's $120. The card comes preloaded with $120 per child per household. Those benefits do expire after 122 days. And again, your POS equipment accepts it the same as the SNAP EBT card.
Great, thank you so much.
You're very welcome. And yes, Christina?
Shannon, this is Mary Harold from the Morgan County Farmers Market.
Oh, okay.
Just wanted you to clarify, please, for the record, these EBT machines cannot accept Farmers Market Nutrition Program dollars. Is that correct?
Do they come on a plastic card?
Yes, they are added to the EBT card this year.
No, okay, so Mary, this is Christina. Are you talking about the WIC and Senior FMNP program?
Correct.
Yes, the SNAP and WIC and Senior are two separate programs with two separate equipment types.
Thank you very much. I just needed that clarified for the record.
So today we're just gonna focus on SNAP EBT, and you can also see Sunbucks, which is equivalent. And the Indiana equipment will be able to run both SNAP EBT and Sunbucks.
Marvelous. Thank you both.
You're welcome. Thank you, Christina. Okay. Any other questions, comments, anything you like me to clear up before we go to the next page? Okay. To start accepting SNAP EBT, you need to apply to be an authorized SNAP retailer. And in this page, there is the website in which you can apply. You can also call the Retailer Service Center, and the 877 number there is where you would like to call. Applications can take up to 45 days to be processed. So if you're looking for it for this year, it may be close, might be, a month and a half before you can accept it. So just keep that in mind. If you're not sure if your market, if you're just taking over a market and you're not sure if it's an authorized user, just contact the FNS Farmers Market Hotline. Some of these numbers, you may need to leave a message with your information, your FNS number, a good contact number, obviously your name, and possibly email address. I do find that sometimes because of the call volume, you leave a message and they return your call. Anytime I've had to reach out to them, it's not taken, but maybe a couple hours, if that, for a return call. And I'm also not running a market, so your return call may come quicker than mine. Okay. All right, so everyone familiar with the POS system? Anyone using it now? Okay. All right. When you apply and you're approved to accept SNAP EBT at your market, Conduit, who is our vendor, our systems vendor, will send you out a free POS equipment system. Only requirement is you have to be an authorized retailer. Unfortunately, I can't help you with any technical questions on the equipment. So you'll have a retail operations support center. They can provide you with any information, and again, to apply. Conduit uses AT&T as their wireless service provider. The USDA FNS, through a cooperative agreement with the National Association of Farmers Market Nutrition Programs, offers a SNAP mobile app and card reader free of cost for 1 year. Approved applicants receive a mobile app and a card reader that enable SNAP EBT debit and credit payments to be accepted on the farmer's market's own smart device. And again, the customer service number 888-377-7884 for more information. And then also below is the link in which you can apply for the market link. Okay. Here's a picture of the POS system. The program provided at no cost a 3-year contract, which includes wireless POS equipment, setup cost, monthly service fees, wireless fees, statement fees, data plan fees, and EBT transaction fees. So once you apply and are accepted, you have that 3-year contract. If you have a wired system now, you can reach out to Conduit and ask for the wireless POS system, and they will reach out to me for approval. And some equipment details for the POS. The information, as you can see, you have an internal printer, terminal, case, batteries, initial training, download, activation, and terminal repairs are covered for 3 years. So we will, Conduit will cover if something would happen. Again, the contract's 3 years. There's no cancellation fee. You have a warranty of 3 years, and you may be responsible for shipping rates. Data breach insurance, none. And the carrier, again, is AT&T. There are no fees associated with swiping the SNAP EBT card, or the TANF. SNAP and TANF are on the same card. So if someone uses their TANF benefits, which is cash assistance, then they would only be able to, or you would not incur a fee. The client would not incur a fee. Now, I apologize, I may have stumbled on that. Does anyone have any questions on that?
Yeah, we have Sarah. If you want to unmute, please, Sarah, we can take your question.
Yeah, I was just wondering, like, we already have a POS that we use that we got a grant for. That will still work for us, correct? We don't need to get any of the new equipment.
No, you do not. If it works for you now, it'll continue working for you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. But if something would happen and you would want to go with the Conduit POS system, just give them a call and apply for it. And as always, you want the wireless equipment. Again, to order POS, you would just contact the Conduit retail assistants, and you can sign an agreement and order your equipment. Okay, and here's some most popular questions here. We have, how and when will I be billed for transaction charges? The charges are automatically debited from your bank account the month following the month that the transaction occurred. So the market will incur expenses, but the client will not. So you'll be billed the month following the month that the transaction occurred. So as an example, if the transaction was here in May, you would be billed in July. June. I am so sorry, you'd be billed in June, the month following, not the month. Okay. If we have a few stands throughout the area, can we get free equipment for each stand? Only one free POS device can be allowed per FNS number. So if you're in an area to where you have like 3 farmers markets, you can only get one free POS system under that number. If you would like another POS system or 2 for the other locations you have, you would need to apply for their own FNS number. And how long does the equipment last? How often will I need to replace it? A POS device can last for several years if properly taken care of. That's correct. As long as they're taken care of, they're stored, they're not, things happen, might get wet if a storm comes and you're not expecting it. However, again, Conduent will take care of that. That falls under the warranty. If my equipment breaks or needs repair, how soon can I get repair or replacement? And this can be anywhere from overnight to 2 days, depending on the circumstance. And that is up to Conduent. I do not have any say in whether it's overnighted or it's sent regular mail. And how long will free equipment be available? The Indiana FSSA will continue to provide free equipment and service contracts through Conduent as long as this effort is supported by FNS. If the state's EBT vendor changes to someone other than Conduent, FSSA will work with the new vendor to provide a new free equipment and service contract option. So right now we have Conduent. If things would change, then we would work with the other vendor to establish the same service, which would most likely require a new contract and most likely require new equipment. I don't know that for sure, but we'll address that when it happens, if it happens. Okay. All right. Does anyone have questions?
Please feel free just to raise your hand or drop them in the chat.
If you would rather send me an email with a question or anytime. Here's my information. You can give me a call. This is my office. This is my email address. You're more than welcome to call or email me at any time. If I cannot answer for you, I'm up front. I'll let you know, and then I'll get the information for you.
And then just to clarify, the Conduent contract is good for 3 years, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
And I did look it up. An FNS contract is good for 5 years. So you would have the Conduent expiring possibly, depending on timing, before your FNS expires. You have to re-up that. And then if there's market manager turnover, you probably need to get the Conduent in their name also, Shannon? Or what's the best practice for that scenario?
If there's a turnover, you would report it to Conduent, update the information as to who's running it, who the market manager is, provide that information so it can be updated. And that way it can just go with the market and not the individual person.
Perfect. Jane dropped a question into the chat, and I'm thinking she's referring to the Conduent number. Can you please put the phone number up again?
Oh, of course. Are we wanting for the equipment or?
You have both on the same page? If not, we can.
This is Jane. I actually have been trying to do this through an email link and it's been a nightmare. And I ended up with a 510 instead of whatever number you said. So having a phone number is huge because then I can call and actually talk to someone. Can you explain the difference between the USDA market link information and the conduit? Are those two different mobile programs or retailers or what? What can you talk about the difference, please?
If you want, I haven't reviewed the market link in a while, but they are separate, Jane. Uh, Conduit is through the state and it's a 3-year program. The market link one, I believe it's a year to year. It's free for the first year and then you have to pay, but you can pay as you go. They do pull down grant dollars, well, USDA grant dollars to cover the cost. So you just have to like touch base with Market Link to see if they have money to cover the cost. And they are registering farmers markets and direct marketing farmers through their program. So again, just be aware, the Indiana program is free for 3 years, and as long as the funds are renewed, like they're approved, it'll continue to be free. Market Link is free for 1 year with the possibility of, there would be funding for it to continue. Other than that, it's the similar service. I do know that Market Link has gone to an app, Total Pay Go app. So you would access that through an iPad or your phone, while the Indiana program is still POS based, as you see in the picture.
Excellent. Thank you. And I guess I've been working on the conduit one and I'm on my second one already. And they kept coming with a phone line. And I'm like, why do I get a phone cord? I still haven't figured out how to use it. So the fact that it's supposed to come with some training too is exciting. So I just call this 800 number to get the updates, apparently. Does that make sense?
Can you address
yes,
that, Shannon, please?
Sure. Yes, just give them a call and be detailed, and they will reach back out to you if they don't answer. I know there's the one line that takes voicemail only, but if they don't answer, leave the detailed information. If you have any order numbers or any shipping information to refer back to, use that as well. So you can refer to it just in case, you have all your information.
Yeah.
And
you said they will reach out to you for approval for the wireless, because I think I've got a wired one is what they sent me, not a wireless.
It kind of sounds like it's a wired one. Yeah, there's they'll reach out and ask permission. I don't understand why. I've never denied one because I don't understand why they ask for permission. It's 2024. I can't explain it. Almost everything's wireless anymore these days.
Wouldn't even know where to plug in a wire.
When I started working remotely, it's not funny. I'm like sitting here and I'm like, why can't I sign in?
I asked for a battery. I had to go buy a battery to plug it in because it's also not battery. They only have plug-in ones. So, which is difficult for a market as well when you're out in a parking lot.
Yeah, you don't want all those cords. I mean, you don't need that. That's a safety hazard. I'd be the one to trip over it.
Yeah, I would think the wireless would be a little easier, user friendly. I think when you get anyway, because it goes through the phone line, the jack is through the phone line, and then you'd also need electricity to run it. So why they have, yeah, that's a little bit. I was gonna say, how do you just get a hold of the wireless one? Do you have to order it and then call them and say, hey, I want a wireless? So I've had this conversation with other market managers. Do you know, Shannon?
Yes, you would just call and let them know that you have the wired equipment and you would like the free wireless. They will, like I said, they'll email me and ask for permission.
Perfect.
I'll, respond, and then however they go from there. But yes, no one's denied because it's just not, the wired is just, is too much. Sometimes you run into more expenses that you need. It's a safety hazard, and sometimes they just don't reach people. And if you have somebody in a wheelchair or someone that cannot reach it, you definitely want to make sure you can hand them the machine.
Excellent. Any other questions, please, for Shannon? All right. Well, thank you, Shannon. This has been really helpful. And thank you for providing the Sunbucks update too. That's been
Sure.
extremely helpful.
Yes,
So
the
if
card
you,
looks different. So sorry, Christina, the
No,
card
go ahead.
is different and separate. So it's important for those that are existing and as well as new markets for this year. It's on the Sunbucks card. I believe it's going to continue there, but right now we're on a year to year with that. So you can, you don't want to hand the POS to someone and you're like, well, that's not an EBT card. It's a Sunbucks card and it can be used.
Perfect. Does anybody have any questions about Sunbucks? It is it's Indiana dollars and USDA dollars. So that's why it's compatible with the Hoosier Works card, the same equipment. So if you have a market that with the Market Link program, they also will be able to utilize Sunbucks. So I think I was asked this question and I thought it through. It's just like buying a card like at your drugstore, CVS. It's just a debit card for this program. They call them EBT cards. Sarah, I see you put your hand up.
Yeah, so the Sunbucks card, it follows all of the same like guidelines as SNAP as far as what it can be used for, correct?
Correct.
That's correct.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and switch over, and I want to share with you some resources that may help you implement what Shannon spoke about today. We worked hard to create some documents. Get myself set up here and see if this helps make your life a little bit easier. Oh, that's not what I wanted. That's what I wanted. Sorry. Never. All right. From beginning. So last year, INFMCP and a team developed what's called Implementing SNAP EBT at Indiana Farmers Markets Toolkit. And it's basically making what we're going to take a look today is making the toolkit work for you at your farmers market, because these are really, really good resources that you can use. So where is it? First of all, how do you find it? Basically go on to the INFMCP website and it's under the food access tab, and you go to SNAP EBT, implementing SNAP EBT at Farmers Markets Toolkit. So you'll be able to find the toolkit there. As I shared, it was developed by Indiana Family and Social Services. Shannon and Ethan were on the team. We also had representatives from the Indiana Department of Health, WIC and Senior FMNP program. We also had Purdue Extension Community Wellness Coordinators, the farmers market specialists, Jared and Lacey, and we had some market managers who helped and provided feedback on what the toolkit and how it should be, how it should look, and if we had the correct information in it. So again, the purpose was to provide tools that market managers can use to implement SNAP EBT at farmers markets and be in compliance with USDA FNS regs and standards. The entire toolkit is available as one big document, but we also chunked it out into one-page documents, and the whole toolkit has been translated into Spanish and Burmese. So depending on where you are, depending on the market, who runs the market, who your volunteers are, we can have it available in different languages. All right. So the tools available, these are basically one pagers, and there's a one pager on implementing SNAP EBT at market. It basically provides you a quick overview of what you need in order to implement SNAP at your farmer's market. This can be helpful in trying to explain to a board, or if you're starting a FNS application, you want to go through this really quick checklist. And if you can check each one of them, then you're well on your way to applying to be a SNAP EBT retailer. There's a one pager on SNAP token basics, basics on how tokens function at market. We cover the do's and don'ts of tokens. Just a really quick reminder, it's great at the beginning of the season. These are all made to be implemented at the beginning of the farmer's market season and during the farmer's market season. The beginning of market day, one pager is a checklist for the beginning of the market day to make sure that you're all set to start processing SNAP EBT at your market. We also have during the market checklist, includes checking it that you have your POS equipment, it's functioning, that you have staff or volunteer to assist with SNAP EBT transactions, that you have your signage, and that you have record keeping during the market. So these are just really quick checklists to keep you on track and keep you moving forward with SNAP EBT at the market. One of my favorite parts of the toolkit is what customers can and cannot buy with SNAP EBT. These provide a list of foods that you can buy, along with a visual, the actual graphic of the food, and then a list of foods that you can't buy with the graphic of that food. It really helps if you have people visiting or dual language, or there's a lot of scenarios that maybe just a list of foods may not work as well, but having that picture graphic alongside of it, and they're simple lists. They're not very complicated. We also have the end of market day. There are two documents because closing down the SNAP EBT at end of market is not so simple. It goes through how to close down your SNAP EBT booth, keep your records of all sales and transactions, keep records of your tokens, etc. So there's a lot involved in closing down SNAP EBT at the end of the day. If you have any questions, please just raise your hand or unmute. I'm more than willing to answer your questions. We also have a document that's called SNAP EBT record keeping. It basically covers record keeping basics are outlined. Market should be keeping weekly, monthly, and end of season and per farmer sales data. And this is required by USDA FNS. And if you offer nutrition incentive program voucher, you need to track the voucher issuance and redemption. Weekly, monthly, end of season, basically a repeat of the top line. A lot of people do this through an Excel spreadsheet. I do have a really great template that I worked on that basically you just dump in your numbers and it'll tabulate it all for you. So please, if you want to email me about that, and I'm more than happy to send it out to you. It's not located online because it's an Excel spreadsheet. SNAP EBT transactions at market. We developed a training. So this is for market managers to use to train all vendors on how SNAP EBT works at market. It's a very, very short training. It's great to do at your vendor meeting, or if you have seasoned vendors and they're good to go, this is good to use with your new vendors that you may have added this year. So these are really great tools for you to use, and they are all the tools are translated, remember, into Spanish and Burmese. Also, I want to point out on that same webpage under food access, we have signage available for you to go ahead and download and print. We have a SNAP EBT yard sign, or you can use it as a booth sign for your SNAP EBT booth. We have a SNAP EBT sign cade, and then we have SNAP EBT rack card that can be printed out and used as a handout for your customers. All of this has been translated into Spanish and Burmese. So there's a lot of resources for you to utilize. The toolkit, we envisioned it as being something that you can print and use in your, there at the SNAP booth, keep the information together, and it's keep you on track basically, and reminds you of best practices. And it's a great way to train your market manager, your volunteers. I know a lot of markets depend on volunteers. So that was developed to be short and sweet and to keep you on track and moving in the right direction. Does anybody have any questions on any of that stuff, on any? Hannah.
Yes, I had a question about making sure I had the correct website for finding the toolkit. Is it the one, the Food Access Snap EBT that's written in the chat?
Yes, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for doing that. Yeah, I should have dropped it into the chat. I can make the slides available to you all, but thank you for sharing in the chat. They're great. Like I said, they're great to have with you. They're nice little checklists just to keep in mind what you need, keep you on track and moving forward with SNAP EBT. I know there's a lot of market manager turnover. It just goes with the territory, and some markets do really well to create fantastic binders. You really need to have a copy of your USDA FNS letter that includes your market's number. If you're using SNAP or conduit equipment, take a look at the toolkit. The one pagers are really, really simple. And depending on what equipment you use, you can also use, you can substitute Market Links equipment or conduit, the Indiana program. So any other questions? Please check out the marketing materials. Those are nice too. Let's see. I don't think anybody has any other questions. Well, then I will give you guys back 15 minutes of today. So go outside, enjoy this great weather, grab some lunch. If you have any questions, please feel free to email Shannon. I'm gonna see, I can drop Shannon's email into the chat for you all too, if you'd like. I know she shared it. Well, let me see, there's one more message. Oh, no problem. Shannon, there was a question about what machine, I think it is the PAX, that Conduit is using these days. Do you know?
That I do not know.
I don't think they changed from PAX. I suspect it's still the PAX. Allie, I think it's still the PAX 880. They've not really updated it in quite a while that I'm aware of. I started about a year in 2021, and then Shannon started, and there hasn't really been any updates. So it's still the PAX 880. Awesome. Well, thank you all for joining us today. And please, if you have questions, email Shannon. And please go on the website, check out the resources. You can download them and print them. Check out the marketing materials. Those are also in Spanish and Burmese. That way you can make sure that your market is more inclusive. So take a look at those. If you don't have money, consider going after sponsorships for them. I'm sure there are some local patrons that would gladly work with you to, underwrite the cost of signage. It's important that we have signage and that we let people know in a tasteful way that you are a SNAP EBT or a EBT market. So thank you all. I appreciate you all and have a great rest of the day.
Thank you, everyone.